All right, so this video is going to be about the thesis and how to write a good thesis and contextualization. It goes along with the DBQs that I was doing in the other videos. So if you need information as far as how I analyze the documents, please go back and check on those. The first thing I want to do for me, you can contextualize or write your thesis. It doesn't really matter which one you do first, as long as both of them do appear in your document. Me personally, I'm going to kind of set up my thesis by discussing the contextualization. Okay. I want to make sure that I discuss everything, or at least give a background on what I'm going to hit in my thesis. And I kind of decided that in my thesis, we're going to talk about the social order and the religious order. So I do want to make sure I hit those background pieces of information in my contextualization. Okay. So prior to Luther's challenge of the Catholic Church, known as the spark of the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Church held major political and social power over governments and populations in Europe. Now I'm going to give some specific historic details to verify or to show what it is that I'm discussing. Okay, so what I've done is I've set up how it is that the Pope's power and the Pope's use of money might have caused some of the Reformation to happen, okay? It was common for popes to crown kings and emperors, sanction the validity of war, and if necessary, use the threat of excommunication to control behaviors. The church collected tithes, used it to pay for building projects and art in Rome, and this led to, in part, some of the major questions for the intellectuals and nobility at the time. I have done a pretty good contextualization. I've set up how much power that the Pope has, and I'm kind of leading into my thesis right here, okay? There are different ways you could do this, but you really want to analyze and really throw out there where you're going to go with this essay, just setting it up. This is kind of establishing the background information in order to write a good essay, okay? So this is contextualization. Next, I'm going to write my thesis. And I know that in my thesis, I want to include the statement, yes, this was a major change to the social order and the religious order. Okay, so how do I want to do that? The Protestant Reformation and I want to make sure that I'm looking at my prompt itself. Was a radical challenge to establish hierarchies. I'm going to prove yes. I agree that yes, it was a radical challenge. Was a to let's see, Protestant Reformation was a radical challenge to establish hierarchies in both political realm and the social order of the day by challenging man's role in religion and also how so I want to change that, and that's okay. I mean, you can change things as you go along. That makes you a good writer. Also, man's role in religion, but also, how I want to say this. Okay, so when I am doing my thesis, did I respond to all parts of the prompt? I want to check myself. The Protestant Reformation was a radical challenge to establish hierarchies. Yes, I do have that in there, but remember, I also have to have a historically defensible thesis that establishes a line of reasoning. Okay, so I have my thesis, but I haven't yet established my line of reasoning. Okay, Protestant Reformation was a radical challenge. Yes. To what? By challenging man's role in religion, but also the role of religion to play in society. Okay, now I need to throw just a little bit more in there to establish my line of reasoning. Okay. During this time, we see ability, and lay alike Okay, so that kind of establishes my line of reasoning here. I'm going to give a brief preview. I'm not discussing all the documents yet. I'm not discussing the outside information yet, but I am giving a preview of what it is that I'm going to be writing about. During this time, we see nobility and lay people both questioning established practices and voicing their understanding and interpretations of religion. Okay. So next is going to be the evidence and the actual writing. Okay, so thank you.